lot of excitement and energy in this series between the Phillies and the Marlins. Some of it provided by Dominic Brown, who homered for the 9th time in 10 games in game number 1. This was a beauty of a shot and helped ignite the Phillies to a victory. Not only that, but Delman Young, for really the first time this year, pulled one down the left field line for a home run. He has 3 home runs against the Marlins this season. Kyle Kendrick, well, he was in total control. A great changeup in game 1. He also had a very good sinker, and he unveiled a curveball a couple of different times. Here's the final out as Jimmy Rollins is able to throw out Echeverria, and a little pump from Kyle Kendrick, and the Phillies took game 1. Game number 2, little different story. The Phillies were being quieted by Ricky Nolasco, but then Eric Kratz came off the bench, out of the bullpen, hit this double. That tied the ball game up at 2 apiece and brought home Delman Young. Then the Phillies had a little quirkiness take place. A rally was thwarted by Bob Davidson, the second base umpire, when he felt like Ben Revere tumbled into the second baseman. But no worry, John Mayberry hit the first of his 2 home runs. This one tied the game in the 10th inning at 3. And then how about this for elation? A walk-off grand slam for John Mayberry. He didn't start the game, but he finished with 5 RBIs. He got a cool shower, and he also got a shaving cream pie to celebrate. And now everybody gets themselves ready for the final game of this 3-game series as the Phillies once again try to get to the 500 mark. They'll do so against the Miami Marlins. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. A quick turnaround from last night's exciting finish where John Mayberry sent everybody home very happy.
Pretty amazing what he did. You know, we were talking during the game that Eric Kratz and Mayberry had a chance to be heroes twice in the game. Well, boy, did John Mayberry ever make the most of that opportunity. 2 extra inning home runs. The first one here ties the game. This ball shoots out deep left center field, and the Phillies are tied in the bottom of the 10th inning. But the real heroics come right here with the bases loaded, 2 outs. You knew the game was over, but the thing goes into the seats. A grand slam walk-off home run for John Mayberry Jr., pummeled by his teammates at home plate. One of the more exciting finishes you'll ever see. Walk-off grand slams in Major League Baseball history since 1900. You see 232 of them. Jordani Valdespin had the last one before last night. Phillies have had a total of 13. Their last by Kim Batiste back in 1993, and their last walk-off grand slam in extra innings by Murph. Not the Murphs is here right now, but Dale Murphy. And that was really something to see when he hit that thing at Wrigley Field.
Well, it was an amazing night all the way around. A little more than 38,000 on hand last night, and many of them stayed at Citizens Bank Park for the finish of that ball game. So the Phillies go for the series sweep this afternoon. Jacob Turner, one of the top prospects for the Marlins. He's over from the Tigers organization. Will get the start for the Fish, and Cole Hamels, making his 13th start of the year, is trying for his 2nd win of the season. Well, there was so much happiness with last night's grand slam. Big smile by John Mayberry, and it set off some fireworks for his teammates. They were obviously elated. They gave him the cold shower, little shaving cream. Lineups and first pitch when we get back. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. We are creating a more coordinated healthcare system that is built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Wrap up this 3-game series. A gorgeous afternoon here in the Delaware Valley as Cole Hamels has already taken the mound. He's warming up and getting ready to face the Miami Marlins. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field, Juan Pierre. Ed Lucas, the third baseman, bats second. Derek Dietrich's over at second base. He'll hit third. Marcell Ozuna bats cleanup. Justin Ruggiano will play for the banged-up Chris Coghlan. He'll hit fifth. Casey Kotchman sixth. Echeverria, the shortstop, bats seventh. Jeff Mathis hits eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Jacob Turner. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, who's having a curious 2013 season.
Almost unimaginable. The Phillies are 1-11. 1-11 in his 12 starts this year, and his record at 1-9. 10 home runs allowed, 9 of them to right-handed batters. His stats not good. The walks are a little bit better the last couple times out. Scouting report on him, his fastball, everything is still there. His stuff's still there. Like against Miami this year, he has 2 of those losses, even though his numbers are pretty good. It's just bizarre what's been going on with him this year. Time now for our Nissan keys to this afternoon's ball game. Well, once again, the Phillies try to climb the almost insurmountable mountain, the 500. They have been there so many times and they can't get there. And today, hopefully that will happen and Cole Hamels will get back on track and be the guy that leads them to 500. You get to be a 500 team, you can start talking about getting better then.
Juan Pierre will lead it off for the Marlins. He takes the first pitch at the knees. The corners are up a little bit with Pierre. As we've watched over the last couple weeks here at Citizens Bank Park, they've run a feature up on the big video board, and they've asked players, it was an MLB poll, who is the best bunter in the game today, and bar none, it was Juan Pierre who was selected by just about everybody.
Probably nobody has practiced it more in his career than Juan Pierre, and that's why he's the best bunter in the game.
So that's why they were up. Now it's 0-2, they're back. And he lines one to right field, and that's going to drop for a hit. Pierre's thinking about 2. Mayberry's throw is not in time. And Pierre picks up his 6th double of the season. As he alluded to the other day, if he can only play against the Phillies, he would have himself a very good year.
Cole Hamels looked like he threw him a changeup that went down and into him, and he hooks it. And if he hit one just like this last night, see where it is? It's down and in, and they're going to play him in right center field. Mayberry gets over there quickly, but Juan Pierre gets that double right out of the box. That's pretty amazing. You consider what a short night it was, a veteran player in the lineup like that, and he does that right out of the chute. That's very impressive.
So a runner in scoring position. Here's Ed Lucas. And Pierre was dancing off the second base bag. He stole a base last night to give the Marlins the lead.
Here he comes right here hard. He takes one look and sees where Mayberry had to go for it. He knows, even with my legs, the age they are right now, I can make this. There's a good effort there by Lucas, too, to just try and hit a ball the right side.
Last night, Pierre stole third, in the 10th inning, and then came around to score what was the 3rd and final run for the Marlins. That gave them a 3-2 lead.
Less likely to run with nobody out. Usually they don't steal third. They give the guy at home plate a chance to get him over. And then with one out, if they don't get over there, that's when you really, really have to pay attention to them.
Just keeping Pierre close at second base.
Jimmy Rollins put his hand out, went to the bag, and as a pitcher you do one of 2 things. You either step off or you throw back there. The one thing you don't do is deliver the ball to home plate because your shortstop's out of position then, or second baseman.
Lucas fires it foul again. That pitch in on the hands.
He's still trying to fight it off and hit it to the opposite field. Here's a guy that's fought like heck to get to the big leagues at over 30 years of age and trying to play the game the right way.
Lucas is hitting a cool .615 as you saw. He's 8 for 13 and he's 3 for 5 in this series against the Phillies. Hits it back toward the mound. Pierre holds up at second, 1 away. Time now for our Mazda leaders, and Cole Hamels, who's had success this year against the Marlins with a light ERA, overall is the active leader in losses against the Marlins.
Well, it's one of those things where you look at Brett Myers up there with 12. He's had so many starts against these guys within the division that he's had a lot of chances to win and lose against them.
8-12 overall. ERA is very good. 3.24 earned run average.
27 games started against the Marlins.
But you look at this year against the Marlins, he's 0-2 with a 2.25 earned run average and two runs of support in 20 innings. Swing and a miss by Dietrich, and it's 0-1.
You really have to pay attention to Juan Pierre right now. He has a big lead off second base, and this is where he'll be more inclined to run. Kratz has an easier shot at him because of the left-handed hitter, but he's trying to time Cole Hamels right now.
Hamels spins back, and they chase him back.
Jimmy Rollins still with the responsibility there with the left-handed hitter up. He also was doing it with Dietrich because they thought he was going to fire a ball the other way, so that's why they weren't playing him with the second baseman covering.
There he goes. Pitch is hit foul, and it's 0-2. Kratz would have had a clear shot just based on Pierre's jump to maybe throw him out. Better chance than last night.
Better chance than last night, but good chance to still steal the bag. But you got a young hitter who's inexperienced, already had a strike on him, got impatient, and swung. You're not going to find many young hitters take that pitch right there and go in the hole 0-2 for a base stealer.
Swing and a miss. He tied him up. Hamels has thrown nothing but strikes so far in this first inning.
Well, that's a good fastball. That thing jumped out of his hand. Didn't notice the velocity of it, but he was late. It really fooled him. And you said Tom was in on him with probably a very good velocity when you swing that late.
And now with one out, Marcell Ozuna, who is 3 for 8 in this series. He's hit one double after another. His average is .336 overall.
Real aggressive early in the count. Change up early maybe.
And Pierre goes. And the pitch is fouled back.
He's going to have to talk to these young players like, hey, man, you know. Now, in that case, with 2 outs, it's not as big a deal to steal third base as it was with the 1 out. But he had that one stolen, and now he's just beating his body up. 3 times already he's belly whomped in this game.
Juan Pierre just waved somebody off. I don't know if it was Rollins,
somebody's
it was some of the young players or what, but he waved somebody off.
He's tired.
It might have been Howard.
Yeah, it's it's a day game after a long night game. One of the older players out there, and look at him bouncing around. He just never ceases to amaze you.
Ooh, first ball of the day, and it was a pretty close pitch.
Where Cole's really gotten hurt with these right-handed hitters this year, cutters that they've hit for long balls or extra base hits on him. He hasn't gotten it inside to the way that he wants to.
Got that cutter inside. Yep, fouled it back.
We got that one in, and that's the thing that he struggled to do. They want to pitch this guy inside a little bit if they can, but he doesn't want to make a mistake on the plate.
Jonathan Pettibone, I thought, did a nice job last night after the first at bat to Ozuna, really getting the ball inside. And he told me today that he was working on that in a side session, and he was able to really get the sinker in on the hands of a number of hitters as the game moved on.
Yeah, he was pounding them inside, especially Ozuna. This is not real good here in the first inning. They can't get together a couple times, and he's in a decent rhythm right now, and this is breaking it up.
Yeah, but he's got to be able to just get back on the rubber and look.
Well, one thing pitchers don't want to do is what's going on right now. And now you call time and you go out and talk about it. They want the guy to put down with thinking on the same page and throw the pitch.
Looks like they're on the same page. The 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Second strikeout for Hamels. No runs. One hit and one man left. Pretty good first inning after that leadoff double. We'll be back with the bottom of the first right after this. End of that top of the first. They got through it, 2 strikeouts, and now let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup for today's ball game. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Revere, Young, and Rollins, followed by Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and John Mayberry. Kratz hits 7th, Freddie Galvis 8th, and Cole Hamels, of course, will bat 9th, and they'll face 22-year-old right-hander Jacob Turner, who made his major league debut a couple years ago at the age of 20 with the Detroit Tigers. He's only made 1 start in the big leagues this year.
Well, he and Rob Brantley were the 2 big guys coming over in that deal for Anibal Sanchez and Omar Infante from Detroit last year. There are his numbers and the scouting report on him. Said he has a pretty good sinker, curve, changeup. Big #1 pick for Detroit, 9th overall back in June of 2009. And a guy they thought could make their rotation out of spring training wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, struggled during spring training, went down in the minor leagues, and was 3-4 with an ERA of 4.47. Ben Revere leads it off for the Phillies. Revere overall hitting .243 with no home runs and 6 runs batted in. And the first pitch taken low and away, 1-0. Revere 4 for 29 in this homestand. He's 0 for his last 6.
As with Juan Pierre, they pinch him at the corners in case he may bunt. Pierre more likely to do it. Revere shows it more than he doesn't. You see especially the third baseman up, Lucas. Kochman has decided it's not happening, so he goes back.
There's Casey Kochman. Lucas continues to walk in at third. Outside to 3 balls and 1 strike.
I just think he could take more advantage of that with that third baseman up and hitting a ball past the third baseman towards the shortstop where they would have no play.
And ball 4. So Revere draws a walk to start the ball game for the Phillies. He wasn't sure if that was a ball or a strike. Look back at the crew chief, John Hirschbeck.
Turner only walked 1 in 7 innings and last time out, that start that he had against the Mets.
John Hirschbeck is the crew chief. Bob Davidson is at first base. Jim Reynolds at second. James Hoy over at third. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of days after last night's game, when Charlie Manuel and Revere were both asked about that play at second where Revere was called out for interference in a double play. There he goes. The pitch is taken low. The throw to second, not in time, and it's kicked away from Dietrich. A stolen base, the 14th of the year for Revere.
It's a good sign. Just go on first movement there. They must have seen something in some tapes on this young pitcher, because there's no hesitation. Watch right there. He comes stretch, first movement from the hands held high, gone, steals it easily.
So Revere's in scoring position.
Now they had a man at second, nobody out in the top of the first inning, didn't get him in. Phillies need to get one in here and get an early lead.
That stole a base for Revere. We mentioned it's his 14th. He's tied now with Andrew McCutchen for 5th in the National League. The leader is Everett Cabrera, who is running all over the place for the San Diego Padres with 24 already.
He's really fast. This is really set up for Michael Young to hit a ball the right side.
There goes Revere. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to third on one hop. He's out at third base. Nice play by Ed Lucas to retire Revere.
We just got finished talking in the first inning when the just don't get it sometimes. With nobody out, you let the guy, especially a hitter like this, get you over. Have a chance to get you over unless you can steal it with no tap. And he didn't do it, and he got a terrible jump, and he's thrown out. It's not good base running.
I don't know if he was thrown out initially or if he slid off the bag, because it was a late call by the third base umpire, James Hoy. Now you got him right there.
You can't be out by that much, Tom. That's the point I'm trying to make with nobody out.
You're right.
What's the thing about first and third out at third? You don't make the first or third out, and in that situation,
get a swing and a miss, so there are 2 outs.
That's a really good job too by the third baseman Lucas. Look at him put his knee down there and block him off the bag. Now does his hand get in?
Oh yeah, it does.
He's safe.
So maybe it was when he came off the bag. See, the third base umpire James Hoy, his foot's on, and is it off right there? It's off right there. That's where the tag was made.
And that's the other thing, when you go head first and the guy puts his knee down, he's not worried about your head hitting his knee. If your spikes are not going to put their knee down.
1 ball and 1 strike to Rollins. Rollins 260 with 4 home runs and 19 runs batted in. So the assumption is that Hoy called him out when he came off the bag, because he did wait. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Jenna Salisbury of Lafayette Hill, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Jenna could win $100. I wonder if Jenna's related to Jim Salisbury. 4-3 on the putout. Rollins is retired. So are the Phils here in the first. So we go to the second here at Philadelphia. Scoreless. On the 17th of June, it's a Hatfield Phillies Frank's $1 Dog Night at the ballpark. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Ruggiano will lead it off. Ruggiano, a 208 hitter with 8 home runs and 22 runs batted in. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Ruggiano. Out of play, 1-1.
Both teams wasting golden opportunity to take a lead in the first inning with runners at second and nobody out. In their case, Miami's case, they just didn't get it done. In the Phillies' case, they ran themselves out of the potential.
1-2. Veer started the first with a walk, stole second, but then was caught going to third after he fell off the bag. James Hoy made the right call looking at that replay. That ball got a piece of Ruggiano. So he's hit by a pitch. They appeal to Bob Davidson to see if he swung. He says no. Got to bring Kochman to the plate.
Looked like a fastball cutter that gets away from him and comes running in on Ruggiano and got him on the elbow. There it is, and he did not swing.
Ruggiano's playing center field today. Chris Coughlin's just a little nicked up. They probably needed to get Ruggiano in the lineup also.
Yeah, especially off a left-hander. He has power. Said he has a little calf problem though and is not running real well.
Kochman 0 for 12 so far this year. On the outside corner, it's 0-1. Kochman has pretty good numbers though against Hamels. He's 4 for 12 with 2 home runs when he was with the Angels.
He may have hit them in the same game.
I think he did hit him in the same game. It was with the Angels. It wasn't with the Braves. It was into right field.
And it was here.
Yeah. Little toss over to first. Ground ball, spinning, foul. And it remains, or now it is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kochman. Hamels, despite the leadoff double in the first, did have a pretty comfortable inning, pitch count wise. And, the last few starts, his pitch count has gone up early. So you keep an eye on that on so many levels.
This is a team that you don't have to necessarily run your pitch count up because they swing. They're so aggressive early in the count. As Kyle Kendrick proved in his start, you see Cole's pitch count right there in the breakdown early in the game. And they will put the ball in play on you a lot of times. What he has to stay away from is a lot of foul balls.
There goes the runner. The pitch is hit foul. He had 7 foul balls in the first inning. Hamels did. So he's picked up a few here in the second.
Yeah, that's what will run his pitch count up against a team like this more than what they do, because they're going to swing.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 3rd strikeout for Hamels. And 1 away. Echeverria's coming up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Well, it certainly has been good over the past couple of days to see Roy Halladay back in the clubhouse and back in the dugout. And he spoke with reporters today, kind of give an update on where he is after his surgery. He said, first and foremost, the surgery went just like they had hoped. It was exactly what they expected to find inside that damaged shoulder, and they were able to clean that out. So right now he is just kind of going week to week with his rehab, seeing what kind of progress he makes and then stepping it up the following week. And he also said, maybe most importantly, that his range of motion right now, just after the surgery, is better than it's been in 2 or 3 years. I think that is certainly good news for him. He's very positive and upbeat. Now, obviously, he has a long way to go before he can get back out there on the mound, but he's going to head back to Florida when the team heads out on the road trip and continue his work. But he is optimistic, guys, and he is optimistic that he will indeed pitch again this season. So certainly good news for the Phils.
It is great news. I thought that range of motion thing that he said, Murph, was pretty interesting, because he said the Monday after the surgery, which is 3 or 4 days after the surgery, he had better range of motion than he did before the surgery. That's remarkable. There goes the runner. The pitch is fouled on the right field line. It's 0-2 to Echeverria.
It is remarkable, Tom, and it's the one thing that I think has excited him the most. He said he was really surprised at just how quickly he was able to get that range of motion back. I had something to do with that bursa sac that was in there that had hardened, and it was really causing him some problems. So, he's able to look and see where he was 2 or 3 years ago and see that same range of motion. Now, that's not to say he can go out and pitch that way yet, but that's what he's hoping to get back to.
All right. Good stuff, just as that was good stuff right there by Hamels. A fastball on the outside part of the plate. 4 strikeouts, 2 away. As Echeverria's average will dip now after that last pitch from Cole Hamels. Boy, he's got a good fastball again today.
He's had a good fastball all year when you think about it. And that's the thing about him. People say, is he hurt? No, he's not hurt, because his stuff is good. And he can't win a game. Hardly ever has a lead.
Here's Jeff Mathis making the start behind the plate. He's 2 for 25 on the year. There goes the runner. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw by Kratz is in time. So much for Ruggiano not trying to put any pressure on that calf. He thought he was safe. And Eric Kratz continues to throw with a whole lot on it, from not even getting up from behind the plate. This is a great throw by Eric Kratz to wrap up the second inning. We go to the bottom of the second. The Phils looking to get some runs. Monday the 23rd is IBEW Local 98 Cliff Lee t-shirt, which is free to fans 14 and under. Purchase tickets anytime by going to Phillies.com. Eric Kratz and Cole Hamels chat again in between innings. You figure they'll be doing that a handful of times as the game goes on, trying to get on the same page. You know that Hamels appreciated that throw by Kratz and the tag by Freddie Galvis to just get Ruggiano before his foot hit the bag.
Yeah, it's a good snap throw there from Eric Kratz without standing up, and a really good tag by Freddie Galvis. You get that play a lot of times, even if you miss him a little bit, when you get it down there that quick and then pull a glove up like that.
Ryan Howard leads it off against Jacob Turner. Jacob Turner was in the major leagues last year. The Phillies just missed him. He pitched in 10 games between the Tigers and the Marlins. He was 2-5 with an ERA of 4.42. And as we mentioned, he just got hit around during spring training. So he wasn't, well, he just didn't make the team, and they expected that he would. They got Turner and Rob Brantley. Those were the two keys in that trade for Anibal Sanchez and Omar Infante. It's paid off for the Tigers. They gave up these young players, but it really has paid off for Detroit too.
And when you're a 9th overall, the way this kid was, you're obviously a very, very highly regarded prospect.
And for the Tigers, they think that Sanchez is one of the best pitchers in the league right now. As you see Howard's numbers against the Marlins. It's that one back toward the middle and knocked down by Turner. One away. Wasn't hit that hard by Howard. But Turner was able to react.
Yeah, it's kind of a humpback liner going out there at him, and he just knocks it down. Takes his time with a slow runner. Here's another look. See, he didn't hit it very hard. He got jammed a little bit. And pitcher Turner is very happy that he didn't hit it harder than that.
Dominic Brown's the batter. Brown 284 with 17 home runs. That leads the National League. Takes a curve and it's 0-1.
You see the defense is on Brown right now, almost straight away, which leads you to believe that teams think, well, he's using the whole field when you see somebody playing like that, as opposed to Ryan Howard just now with the overshift the other way, showing that he's almost a dead pull hitter. Much harder to defense a guy when you have to play him straight away. Now they're playing him slightly to pull with Ruggiano in center, but not a whole lot. Here's another look at it. Infielders are up the middle.
Ball nearly hit Brown. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brown has 7 hits here in the month of June. And of those 7 hits, 2 are home runs. It pales in comparison to what he did in May, but it's really the first week of June. We'll see if he can duplicate it. Fights it off foul toward the Hall of Fame club.
Got pretty excited down in front of us. Just made a catch in the front row there. There's what he has done since May 29th. Ridiculous. He has long at bats too.
Serves that one to right field. Ozuna comes running in. And there are 2 outs. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, some other day games going on today. The Braves lead the Pirates 1-0. Last night's hero, Andrelton Simmons, scored the first run for Atlanta. He won the game last night for the Braves in extra innings. Braves are 7 games up over the Nationals and 7.5 over the Phillies. And they're back to winning 4 straight. They're 20-7 at home.
That's a pretty good way to play. Then just play around 500 on the road. You'll have a real good season.
Mayberry with those 2 home runs last night. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Time you're the first player in the history of the game to do something. That's pretty remarkable. The game's been around a long time.
He lines that one to left field. Pierre backed up on it and then slipped. First hit of the day for the Phillies.
Here are the heroics last night. First player in Major League history. Well, here's the first one. This one's off C-Shack. That ties it in the 10th. And then the grand slam. Game over at that point because he scalds it over Juan Pierre's head. Does it go out? Yep. Into the front row in a hurry. Not a first in there, huh?
First Philly did 2 home runs in extra innings. First career grand slam. Bring back the names Dale Murphy and Kim Batiste.
So we see Murphy say, hey, I'm using your name again. Dale Murphy doing some broadcasting now with the Braves as he's around working for the organization.
Eric Kratz hitting .242 with 7 home runs and 18 RBIs. As they keep Mayberry close at first. Kratz last night came running in from the bullpen where he was catching to pinch hit for Humberto Quintero in the 7th and doubled off the wall, the top of the cement wall, just above the scoreboard in right.
That was really impressive what he did. He combined running in from the bullpen like that, and then the adrenaline that's involved in what he does, and then come up and do that, settle yourself down, have a good at bat like that, and hit the ball off the top of the wall. That was just a great effort by him. Nice effort there by Ozuna too, but that ball way over his head.
Pulls that one. It's a fair ball down the left field line, and it's going to the corner. Pierre hesitated for a moment. That'll give Mayberry a chance to score. He's heading home, an RBI double, 1-0 Phillies.
Yeah, Juan Pierre's been here a lot, and he knew that he had to try and see if that thing was going to go off the corner of the seats or whether it was going to go all the way into the corner, because it was that close after going over the bag. And that's why, as Tom says, he hesitates because he's trying to read it. Phillies get a big break here as it misses the seats down there and goes into the corner. And with a plus runner like Mayberry, he can score on that play. Juan doesn't throw that well out there. There's 2 outs. He's running on contact. Ryan Sandberg has him going all the way, and sometimes you catch a little break, and they caught a break because it went all the way down into the corner.
So that's a 5-game hitting streak for Erik Kratz as Mayberry crosses the plate. And speaking of 5-game hitting streaks, Freddie Galvis is the batter. Galvis is average at .239, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Base open and 2 outs with a good hitting pitcher on deck. I figure they're going to try and get Galvis out here and lead off with Hamels next inning. Last night they walked him ahead of Erik Kratz, and the young pitcher almost was starting to struggle at that point. A lot of adrenaline. Walk Kratz and then the slam. The plight of an 8-hole hitter with a base open, head in the count. Now pitch backwards to you.
Because of Mayberry's run, the Phillies have a run across the plate. They lead it 1-0. Galvis up the first base side. That'll be a foul ball. See a lot more of that. Smiles over the last few days. Inside, blocked by Mathis. Good play. It's 3-2.
Yeah, another off-speed pitch too to Freddie Galvis. So they've thrown him 1 fastball.
I think so, yeah.
In this at bat. In a way, they are pitching around him a little bit, or trying to see if he'll get himself out. Here's the catcher, Mathis, blocking this curveball in the dirt. Good play. If they were to throw him a fastball right now, they might throw it by him, because you got to be locked into all this off-speed stuff they're throwing. I don't know whether they want to take a chance on that.
Pulls it foul, just foul.
He's timing that hook a little better now. He's seen enough of it. Just can't quite keep one fair. And watch him time this one. Really stayed back nicely, and foul ball down the first baseline. Now they're going to go talk about it, Mathis and Turner. We've thrown in too many of these. Well, let's see.
I was also laughing at the reaction of the crowd by Bob Davidson's call. Even when he gets it right, he's Everybody's mind, he's going to get it wrong.
3-game series, and they're out of here after this. Hopefully he has a quiet day down there. Anything but that last night.
3-2 the count. The pitch in the air to right field. Ozuna on the run over toward the corner. Will it stay in play? And it's a foul ball, and Ozuna didn't come up with it.
It's getting closer to keeping one of those curveballs fair. They threw him another one. Day game, pretty warm. Ball really carrying, as you can see on this one. He didn't hit all that well. Look how far it goes.
It did go pretty far. The fact that it hit the top of the padding in foul territory.
Ozuna got into the wall a little bit quicker. He could have jumped up and caught that thing.
Galvis gets another chance. Ozuna stays in the spot he was before the last pitch.
Long at bat.
The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. He draws a walk to put runners on first and second.
Well, he did finally throw him something away. He threw him all those curveballs, and he just didn't really challenge him in that at bat. 10 pitch at bat. Good job by Freddie.
Now Hamels, who's 2 for 21.
Throw him a first ball fastball. I mean, took a pitch away to him because Hamels can hit.
Back with a changeup, and it's 1-1.
Hamels think we can see it pitching backwards to the 8-hole hitter, but not me.
28th pitch of the inning for the right-hander, and it's hit the other way. Pierre comes over, and he makes the catch. It hung up there for him, and the side is retired, but the Phillies do strike first. They get a run and an RBI double by Eric Kratz. We go to the third. Phillies leading. .com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, Wheels, which Marlins pitcher did Jimmy Rollins get his first major league hit off? That was back in 2000. I have to admit, I don't remember.
That's a tough one.
The person's name. But you have until the 7th inning to figure out the answer. Go to the top of the 3rd. Fanatic, thanks for clearing that away for us.
Well, that'll be a hint. That'll be a hint situation from you.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to do some investigating. I thought you said I gave you a hint already.
No.
I don't know how I did.
No, if you did, nobody would have seen it or heard it.
Jeff Mathis starts it off. He was up when Ruggiano was thrown out trying to steal. First pitch popped up. Howard didn't see it when it came down. He just lost it. I think Freddie Galvis thought there was going to be an issue because he started storming in behind him.
Yeah, right here he takes a look, and watch right here. He's telling you, I can't find it. And then he almost caught it and hit his glove. He saw it at one point, and now he went to where he thought it was going to come out and hoped it would come out of the sun in time, and it didn't.
So they call it no play. Jay Dunn is the official scorer this afternoon. Realizing the elements came into play. And now the 0-1 to Mathis. This one in foul territory down the right field line. Galvis gives it a peek, and it's out of play. So Charlie Manuel said last week. He said Freddie Galvis, as you look up at what the players are seeing, Freddie Galvis, you watch a play, and all of a sudden he'll come sliding in from somewhere. That's what he did there.
He made a slide last night on a ground ball up the middle, popped up, threw the hitter out. It was just a great play with runners at second and third.
Cole Hamels taking a walk around, giving Freddie Galvis and Ryan Howard a chance to catch their breath.
Hamels was just staring in, trying to get to where he wanted. And they still can't find that point.
And now Mathis calls time. Body language wise, though, and I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but that was better by Hamels, just to step off, keep his composure. He's upset with the pitch there, and it's 1-2. He is competitive, boy. Oh boy!
Every once in a while I hear somebody say, "Well, he's soft." He's no.
He
call him something, but don't. That's not it.
Ground ball to first, and Howard will make that play. 1 out. Friday, July 5th, the Phillies start a 3-game series with the first place Atlanta Braves. 7:05, 7:15, and then 1:35, excuse me, on Sunday, July 7th. Purchase tickets at Phillies.com. Saturday is Mama Lucia Meatballs Ladies Night. All women 15 and over coming to the game that night. Get a very nice giveaway. Jacob Turner takes strike one. Turner is hitless so far in the big leagues, 0 for 2. But did you know that he was 4 for 7 this year down in the minor leagues?
I did not know that.
2 doubles and 3 RBIs.
I guess he catches up to stuff a little easier down there than he just tried to catch up to that fastball.
Just missed outside, 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball foul. So 3 straight foul balls by Jacob Turner.
Yeah, he's given him an unusually long at bat here. That Cole Hamels, of course, you want to dispense the opposite pitcher as quickly as possible.
Got him with a changeup. 5 strikeouts for Hamels. And there are 2 outs. It was an 8-pitch at bat.
Yeah, that really helps him out a little bit. Pitcher go up and do that. It's not oppressive afternoon here, but it's certainly warm when you're out in that sun. But the humidity's down, and that will help the players on a day like this.
Humidity's down coming over the Walt Whitman Bridge today. Center City just looked gorgeous. You see the conditions, 75 degrees, mostly sunny.
Yeah, just the opposite of what it was like over the weekend when the humidity was so high. Cliff Lee cramped up on Sunday.
Juan Pierre started the game with a double to right. It was left at second. 0-2 as he waves over top of the changeup. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball to shortstop. Rollins to his left, comes in from the bag. Side is retired. 1-2-3. Go the Marlins. Pretty good inning for Cole Hamels. We go to the bottom of the third. Everybody's happy. Advance by W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Last of the third. Phillies up 1-0. Top of the order will start things off against Jacob Turner. It'll be Revere, Young, and Rollins. Hope everybody's enjoying your Citizens Bank Business Person Special here at the ballpark. We know we are. Phillies are going to Milwaukee after this game concludes for a 4-game series.
Always nice to go with Milwaukee. Not only is it a nice town, but they have a roof, so you know you're going to play your 4 games on time.
Yeah, if there was no roof, tomorrow would be in question.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be nice there.
Ben Revere walked and was thrown out trying to steal third after successfully stealing second. Taps that one back toward the middle, 1 away. Friday, June 21st, we mentioned the Phillies will take on the New York Mets. Well, some of the things going on here at the ballpark include African American Heritage Celebration presented by the Sound of Philadelphia. Great music and dance. The presentation of the annual Gamble and Huff Community Service Award. Tickets can be purchased at any time, 24/7 at Phillies.com. Michael Young struck out in the first. Line drive out toward center field, and Dietrich can't get it. That was a little floater. And Young's aboard with a 1-out single.
Yeah, hit something right off the end of the bat and blooped it out there. Dietrich, he did all he could. High leap at the very end, and And over the glove for a base hit for Michael Young.
Rollins grounded to second his first time.
Gives Jimmy Rollins now the hole to shoot for on the right side with a pinch up the middle for double play. So nice to be a left-handed hitter when you get that runner on at first base. Look at that big hole on the right side.
Just have to be able to get it to that hole.
Yeah, there's so many ways to do it too. You don't even have to hit it hard. That's why it's such an advantage to be a left-handed hitter when there's a man on first base. Mike Schmidt was a guy who used to complain about that all the time to the left-handed hitters. You guys know how easy it is for you. You know we can't do that.
Now ball to second. Dietrich gets one, and that's all they'll get. Echeverria never really got his footwork down. Plus, it's tough to double up Rollins.
Jimmy got impatient there. Everything was away to him. And that pitch, when you try to pull, the odds are you're going to roll it over. He took the first two. I guess he thought maybe he was going to get something middle in. He didn't. Coming in hard there is Michael Young. And disrupts the play. You said probably wouldn't have gotten him anyway because it wasn't hit very hard.
Howard line one back off Jacob Turner's last time.
Young, being the good player that he is, though, does everything he can to make sure.
He is a smart player.
And he was a middle infielder too. And he understands what that's like when somebody's coming at you like that.
Sounds crazy, but you know, you look at guys like Michael Young or Freddie Galvis, players who have real good instincts and understand the game. You go back to when they played in Little League, Babe Ruth or whatever, and you wonder, well, who taught them the game? I mean, who taught it to them the right way? And how do you bottle it up and pass it on to everybody else?
And there's something, and I really believe it after being around this game forever. They're intuitive too. You say someone teaches them to learn that, but they also have a feel. And it's like anything else in life. If you have a feel for something, you're better than other people. And these kind of guys do.
Well, for both of them, it was really baseball all the time, particularly when they hit high school. The Phillies and Freddie Galvis, they had a relationship since he was 16. But for Michael Young, who played all the sports growing up, when he got to high school, he shut the rest of them down, and it was baseball and only baseball. And that's the thing about these guys is that they eat, sleep, and drink it.
Yeah, which is nice. Delvin Young is a guy who really loves the game too, and he likes to talk it. And you see him always into the game when he's sitting on the bench with his teammates. Bad running situation right now, though. Sometimes they just don't want anybody moving with Ryan Howard up because there's always a chance he can pop one, and you don't want to run into an out.
Fly ball out towards shallow left. Echeverria goes running out to a spot, and the one-handed catch. Phillies leave one here in the third. First three in the books on a beautiful day in South Philadelphia. messes, even mustard on your best clothes. No need to worry. If it's a spill or worse, W.B. Mason has an all-star selection of cleaning products to mop it up. Now we go to the top of the fourth. Cole Hamels going to work. Every time a Phillies pitcher retires, the opposing team 1-2-3 Comcast to make a Hamels just did that. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Give you all your favorite sports all year long. Ed Lucas swings at the first pitch, one away. Derek Dietrich's coming up. Cole Hamels has got a good fastball today, Murph. It looks like he's made some adjustments from one start to another.
Yeah, you know, certainly he has. He's been working obviously very hard at that. And, you know, we mentioned that we talked to Roy Halladay earlier today, so it's no surprise that Roy was asked about his thoughts on Cole Hamels and, you know, the way the season has been going for him so far. And Roy said, you know, he's talked to him a couple times. He's called him when he was down in Florida to talk to him about the way things are. And he said, you know what, all Cole can do is go out there and prepare himself for each start to the best of his ability. You know, he obviously has good stuff. He obviously has the kind of stuff that can win ball games. Things are just out of his control right now, according to Roy, and he said he just got to put that behind him and worry about getting his next start, guys.
Well, he just delivered one to Dietrich that Dietrich serves out into the seats in right field to tie this ball game up. That's his fourth home run of the season. Well, I think this is part of what Roy Halladay was trying to say to Hamels. All right, you give up a home run, it ties the game, but now you got to flip the page and go on to the next batter. And the next batter is Marcelo Ozuna. Yeah, sometimes when you lose your concentration, it gets a little worse.
Yeah, well, again, for me, the left-handers having those good kind of strokes against them, sure, nothing that you can do about it. Look at the location. Let's just see where that is. Okay, right down the middle, belt high, knew it was out when he hit the ball. Again, those balls got to be down in the zone. That's the adjustment consistently that you got to make. But I think what Roy is talking about, just to keep your same demeanor, is just to make sure that you go out there and you compete and hope then that your team's able to do something to make the team win.
Yeah, and Sarge, I think the other point of that was, you know, he wanted to make the point that, you know, Hamels should know, and I'm sure Cole does, that he has the stuff to get guys out. He's been doing it in this league for a number of years now, and he just can't forget that because his stuff is still the same, and he's going to be a part of this team for a long time to come, and he's going to be a leader on this team for a long time to come. So Roy was trying to point out that, you know, Cole needs to just remind himself of that all the time and know that he can get the job done.
You know what? You make a real good point that a lot of times players need to realize that they are the star, that they're the ones that the hitter is actually fearing. A lot of times they'll forget that, and that's when they'll run into trouble. That's why it doesn't matter, superstar, Hall of Famer, everybody has to be reminded of that every now and then.
Well, and I think all of us know, Murph, Sarge, we all know that confidence in any walk of life plays a big part, and it doesn't matter how good you are, how successful you've been, sometimes the little bit of self-doubt creeps in too, and it's tough to not allow that self-doubt to creep in.
Oh yeah, I mean, the guys don't talk as much today, but I've had pitchers like John Montefusco. He'd come in and say, hey guys, all I need is one today, all I need is two today. At times, guess what, that would work, but then at times we were holding on to 98, but he wasn't afraid to say it.
2-2 cutters inside. They appeal. No swing, says Bob Davidson. It's 3-2. So we're tied at 1 here in the top of the fourth after Dietrich's home run. Ruggiano's on deck, and the count is 3-2 to Marcell Ozuna. Swing and a miss. Throw him another changeup. 6 strikeouts for Hamels. Ruggiano was hit by a pitch his first time up.
I had the opportunity to talk to Ricky Nolasco today. Didn't get the victory or win last night, but he was kind of proud of the way that he actually was competing. And, you know, we talked about his breaking ball, the one that he throws, and he did say, hey, I throw a couple of different breaking balls. Hitter's going to have to prove it to me that they can hit it.
Dominic Brown closes with that play on Justin Ruggiano. And that'll do it for the fourth. The home run ties it up, middle of the fourth. It's the Marlins won, the Phillies won. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Bottom of the fourth, Dominic Brown, John Mayberry, Eric Kratz to lead it off against Jacob Turner. Good day to hit today, Sarge.
It's a great day to hit. Got fans here in the stands. Not overly hot. Of course, when you're hitting, doesn't matter if it's overly hot. That's when that pitcher can get into a lot of trouble. Hard to breathe on the mound with all that humidity.
Outside, 1-1.
Well, a big difference, too, in the way that Dominic is hitting right now compared to maybe, let's just say, Ryan Howard. He keeps his bat back in Dominic Brown, and a lot of times when Ryan Howard is striding, his bat comes forward. That's why you'll see him get the check swings. You got to keep it back when you're striding, where you take a better look at the ball. Yeah, nothing is a guarantee, but it just really gives you a better chance to be able to hit the ball.
2-2. He fights off and hits foul. Kind of a subdued celebration by that youngster.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. He threw a 93 by him. And that's the second strikeout for Turner. One out here in the fourth. Saturday, June 22nd, when the Phillies face the New York Mets, it's a 4:05 first pitch here at Citizens Bank Park. Now, after the ball game, it's the Model Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases for fans 14 and under. Order your tickets at Phillies.com. Now John Mayberry, who singled in the second and came around to score the only run for the Phils today. I know you didn't talk to John Mayberry Sr., but what do you think he was thinking last night when he saw his son hit those two home runs?
So proud. Probably saying finally he's getting on that fastball or being a little bit aggressive. But when you looked at his stroke there, he really had his shoulder and everything going right toward the pitcher, as opposed to maybe kind of circling it or pulling off the ball. I mean, John Mayberry has it in him to be a good player. It's the consistency that has kept him from playing every day.
Pretty good pitch. Sinker inside. It's 1-2.
Oh, this is kind of what I'm talking about there. Look at the position and watch where his head goes. I mean, that is classic. We don't see that a lot on those sliders or anything that really hard, but the left-handed pitchers he feels very comfortable against, and that's why I think he stays in there. He's got to apply that to the right-handers, and if he can do that, he'll be an everyday player. An example, Dominic Brown in left field.
Staying in against lefties.
Yeah, staying in against lefties. He's shortened up his stroke. Consequently, even Pete McCannon, we were talking about that earlier today, they have to change their reports on Dominic Brown. They're saying, hey, he's shortened up his stroke. Looks like a fine major league player as maybe just a fourth or fifth outfielder.
3-2 to Mayberry. Hit toward right center field. Ozuna got a pretty good jump, but he's able to track it down. There are 2 outs. Plus, it sliced back to him, but he did get a good jump.
Yeah. Better swing on that, too. Tell you what, though, that Ozuna, he gets pretty good jumps on the ball. Boy, oh boy. Now take a look at the swing here. And again, that one inside just a little bit, maybe late on it. Ozuna going back and making a fine play. They're thinking this kid might be able to play some center field. By the looks of that play, it looks like he might be able to. One of the toughest pitches they hit is the slider. A good one from the right side. Right-handed pitcher against the right-handed batter.
Over toward the hole at shortstop. Echeverria backhands. And the Phillies are retired in order here in the 4th. 5 in a row retired by Turner. On to the 5th. Business. It's for boys and girls aged 6 to 14. You can call 610-520-3400 or check out PhilliesCamps.com for more information. You get 13 different locations, a handful of weeks to choose from. Plus, you get a trip to Citizens Bank Park, a Phillies Baseball Academy uniform, and a camp reunion night at a Phillies game. Again, go to PhilliesCamps.com. Oh, beautiful shot of Center City. A lot going on downtown today. The building collapse on 22nd and Market. We understand that there were 10 folks who were rescued. There was one who was taken out of the rubble about 10 minutes before we went on the air. We hope that everyone involved is okay. All the firefighters, and police officers, and Samaritans who went in to help people get out of that building when it collapsed.
Wow.
Just a horrific scene. We were watching the coverage of it prior to going on the air today. Just incredible listening to some of the stories of the folks that went in to help and get people out of that building once it collapsed. Jimmy Rollins will take care of Kochman to start the fifth. There's one away. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Here's Echeverria. He's 0 for 1. He's 2 for his last 23. Off the end of the bat, a little flare out to center field. Well, make it 3 for his last 24. Sorry.
Those are the kind of little hits, though, that can get you going. And he's a young player. Not surprised he's struggling there at the plate. The main thing they have him for is basically right now at shortstop. Try and get as good as he can possibly get. And then hopefully they're hoping that hitting will come a little bit later. And it does with a lot of young, good athletes. And he is one.
Do you ever run the risk, you think, of having a player, because you're not going anywhere, having a player try to figure it out years before they're supposed to, and they lose total confidence? And do you ever run that risk, you think?
Absolutely. I think you do with both everyday players and along with even pitchers. And coming up or being involved with it a little bit too soon. Because realizing coming up, everybody has stats. Everybody's been an all-star in just about every league. And then when you go to A-ball, guess what? Those all-stars go to Double-A and then so on. But everybody has credentials.
Well, 1 to Mathis. It's fouled back. It's 0-2. I mean, there are folks that thought that Dominic Brown was rushed to the big leagues. And, folks have admitted that maybe that stunted his growth a little bit as a ball player. Now, he's figured it out. Eventually, I would guess most guys, if they have the talent and if they can play, they figure it out.
Right. Well, he's had really good at bats. I mean, from the very beginning, even though he wasn't hitting for a high average, he did not bail on left-handed pitchers. So that in itself, when you're a left-handed hitter, you're a good athlete. Well, that means you're seeing that ball pretty good. Then he's put it together, working with the hitting coaches, giving them a lot of credit. Has finally got that stroke together.
Now 2 outs. Here's Jacob Turner. Hamels has 7 strikeouts today. A little low, 2-2.
This is what you don't want. You don't want pitchers fouling off your pitches. That's how you get the pitch count up. Throwing the fastball pretty good, though. 94. Let's get that ball down in the way and see whether or not he'll be able to get him out.
And a called strike 3. He got him out. That's 8 strikeouts for Hamels. Back-to-back Ks to wrap up this 5th inning. 4.5 in the books. Freddie Galvis will lead it off for the Phillies when we return. Watch every out-of-market game live on over 350 supported mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Well, there is baseball everywhere today. In fact, it's a full slate of games. Yankees are playing the Indians up in New York. That's a day game. CC Sabathia is shutting out the Indians. Atlanta's shutting out Pittsburgh. That youngster shut her eyes and is calling it quits. So far, Jacob Turner and Cole Hamels have shut down the offenses for both. Bottom of the order is due up for the Phillies. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Toyota. Braves are shutting out the Pirates 3-0. Tehran has a no-hitter through 7. He struck out 10 and he's walked 2.
Wow. He's got it going on then with those strikeouts, to say the least.
Remember 2 years ago when the Pirates went into Atlanta, how it changed their season?
Oh, changed their whole year.
Well, they've gone into Atlanta. If they lost 2 straight, and if they lose today, it would be 3 in a row to them. They'd be swept out by the Braves.
Oh, boy.
And Jerry Meals is nowhere to be found. Galvis walked his first time up. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Boy, kind of ran up to actually hit that ball. Usually you're a little bit stationary. I've seen guys do that, but usually they slap it the other way.
He slaps that one the other way, and that's a base hit. Ruggiano got to it quickly. It'll hold Galvis at first. And now you get to a position where Hamels can sacrifice him up to second. As has been the case in all of in Hamels' other 2 starts against the Marlins, there's not a lot of runs scored.
Well,
so whatever you can get is important.
Yeah, and again, he can't worry about that, especially now at this point. You just want to go out and do the best you can. When you're able to get a runner over, you do it. Worry about your job there on the mound and making good pitches.
Hamels squares, bunts it beautifully. So good. 1-4 on the sacrifice. I thought it was interesting last night. Charlie Manuel said if there was a right-handed relief pitcher, you know, that inning where Kyle Kenrick pinch hit, if there was a right-handed relief pitcher, normally Hamels would probably be the pinch hitter, left-handed batter, but he was pitching today, so they weren't sure if they were going to use him. They were going to bring Joe Savory in from the bullpen. And Joe was an exceptional hitter in college. But they would have brought Savory in to be the pinch hitter instead of Kendrick, and then he would have stayed in the ball game. Revere takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, glad they were able to win it in the fashion that they did with the grand slam. Although we did get a chance to see Roy Oswalt out in the outfield, if you remember that, as a pitcher, where Charlie put him out there in left field, and actually got a couple plays, if I can remember right.
He did.
Still want to have a habit of getting those pitchers playing in the field.
Inside and low, 1-2. Well, Sarge, let me correct myself, because I think I'm leading you astray here. Savory would have got into the game to pitch, not to play the field.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
although he could.
Okay.
Could play a little first base, maybe.
Okay. That's sounding a little bit better.
1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2 to Revere.
See why this guy's so effective. He's got a real hard cutter that he throws in on those left-handers with some pretty good movement.
Got him right on the foot, so he's walking it off. They're giving him a few minutes.
Boy, take a look at it. It's just going to come right off the side of that. Boy, and I tell you what, that's a full line drive going right on the foot. Does not feel good.
Outside, 3-2.
See, the catcher actually moved in a little bit more, even further inside. See whether or not he gets a fastball right here. Just got to make sure you zone him down. You don't want to swing at any pitches that would be above your hands.
Inside, ball 4. He's walked twice today. That puts 2 on for Michael Young. 3 walks issued by Turner.
Well, this would be a great game to get before you're going on the road. It pulls you right up to 500. Well, you can stop thinking about it, get as many games over 500 as you can, and get a little breathing room and start to make a move. Still plenty of time left, although Atlanta's starting to heat up and playing consistent ball, even though it's kind of weird that a lot of their hitters they're getting hits when it counts. Let's say that. Still striking out quite a bit. Obviously, pitching carrying them.
That's a strike, but he may have been crossed up. It's 0-1.
No, he's actually going out there to change the sign there. I think Galvis actually gave him a little location on the outside so that he's going right away and say, hey, man, when I say outside, throw in. When I throw in, I'll give you the in target, throw away or something of that nature. No, and usually a lot of times if you're going to give signs, it's got to be a little bit. You got to deceive it a little more than that. I mean, we would give signs from second base, but again, wasn't blatant the way that some of the guys do it this year. As you can see now, didn't really do that. That's because he isn't sure. So that's a sure sign that definitely that happened.
Well, here's that first pitch. Here's a look at it to see if you can pick up what Sarge is talking about. I think by leaning back a little bit,
I thought he actually put his hand out there a little bit, indicating,
okay,
you know, outside, and that's why I think if you saw it from one of the other cameras, you could see him, but he ran out there instantly because that gives that hitter the idea that's where the ball is going, outside corner, so he can look for it. Makes it easier to hit it, but doesn't guarantee a hit, obviously.
Now the 1-2 pitch to Young. A little dribbler up the third base line, foul, or off the third base line. Same time, ISO of Freddie at the second, so we isolate him at the second. That's before the pitch came in.
See that little left-handed move right there, very subtle. And he went with the right hand up near the helmet and then right away with the left hand there. And the hitter will know, hey, anytime you do that, the ball's going to be on the outside corner. Only reason I know that because we did that.
Opposite way, Kochman will go to second for 1. Throw is a little high, and that's all they'll get. First and third with 2 outs.
I didn't want to take a chance, I guess. That actually, I thought he wasn't there in the very beginning. That's why anytime the ball hit to the right side, that pitcher has to go over to be able to cover. Take a look at the throw. That throw a little bit high. Nobody at first base right now. Getting there a little late. That's the reason why he didn't throw it. Take a look at it. Double clutch. Nobody there. Smart play. Don't want to hit a moving target.
Is 0 for 2 today, grounded out and then grounded into a fielder's choice, both to the second baseman.
You know, there were times when we would actually give the sign there to the hitter. I mean, if we thought we had him, we had an indicator to let the hitter know we had him. We would actually kind of look straight at you at a fastball, and if it was a breaking ball, kind of look left or right as if you were looking at one of the fielders there or the bag. So there's subtle ways that you can do it if you're going to do it, but you can't do it blatantly, because if you do, when they ask for the outside pitch, guess what? They'll throw that ball right in there on your ribs. That's also happened.
Speaking from experience.
Oh, yeah. I can remember it like it was yesterday. That's when you politely put your bat down and you just go right to first base. Don't even look at the pitcher, acknowledge it or anything.
Two 2-0 the count to Rollins. Outside 3-0. Howard's on deck. Galvis takes a lead off third. Young off first. Rollins taking all the way. Ball 4. Fourth walk now by Turner. Let's see if they can make this hurt. Walk 2 in the inning. 4 overall. Ryan Howard strolling to the plate.
Get that Ryan Howard swinging the bat the way that we know he can. This is a whole different team when he's doing that damage, and then all you need is players around him just to come almost stay close.
Second baseman Dietrich is way out right, but there's not the overshift that we usually see with Howard. Usually when there's a bases are loaded like this and there are 2 outs, the second baseman doesn't always go out that far.
It's interesting they can play that deep. He hits the ball so hard. The reason that when he hits it in the outfield, they're able to get him at first.
He pulls that one towards shallow right, and Dietrich had him played perfectly. Had him played absolutely perfectly. No runs, 1 hit, 3 men left. We go to the 6th, still square at 1. The dominating left fielder in the Phillies lineup. Number 9 is taking things in stride and taking some major cuts at the dish. Among the league leaders in home runs, RBIs, and slugging percentage, Brown captured the National League Player of the Month award and became the first Philly in history to win back-to-back NL Player of the Week honors. What does Brown do for you? You've watched it. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Well, the cast members from the Broadway musical Grease, which has made its way to Philadelphia, will be at the Walnut Street Theater, and they decided to invite the fanatic along. He's got his leather jacket, all ready to go.
That's unbelievable.
The fanatic always gets the girl. We start the sixth. Cole Hamels delivers low to Juan Pierre. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Pierre's 1 for 2. He doubled in the first, grounded out his last time up.
I think today was the day the players didn't have to get in really early, at least the Miami players. The only guy that was there on the field again, Juan Pierre, said he had to loosen his legs up. Wasn't able to just come out there like some of the younger guys, he said.
He bunts toward the right side. He butted it too hard, and Galvis just casually flips it. 1 away. The U.S. Open will soon be in our backyard. What happens when Neil Hartman, Jimmy Rollins, Jay Wright, and Jeremy Roenick hit the greens of Marion Golf Club? Watch an Open Challenge Saturday night at 6:30 and 10:30, only on Comcast Sports Center. There have been some great features that have been running about Marion that Neil's been putting together, and some of the other folks. And that one I'm looking forward to. Inside and low, 1-0.
Tough golf course. Beautiful golf course, however. I think to enjoy those kind of courses, though, you gotta
be like an 8 handicap.
Yeah, you gotta be a single digit. You know, other than that, I mean, it becomes a little frustrating to you.
I would agree.
Bad shot after bad shot.
Although it would still be nice to play it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love being on those really nice golf courses. I mean, Pittsburgh, Oakmont, that we had the opportunity to play. Doesn't get any better than that. I think your golf ball, when it hits those trees, sound a lot louder in those courses. Not supposed to hit the trees, though.
Yeah, there's not as many folks on it, so they're louder because you can't hear the laughter from everybody around.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's very challenging.
2-2 to Ed Lucas, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to the pitcher. He's flying out to center. Checked his swing and a curveball. They appeal. No swing, says Bob Davidson.
Got to tell you, he's probably still pinching himself, laying in bed and just saying, I actually can't believe I'm finally here. Driving into the ballpark. It'll be the whole season, just something he'll never forget when you first get to the major leagues.
There's ball 4. I think Kratz thought it was strike 3. He started getting up to throw it around. It was close. And that walk by Hamels is his first of the day. He's hit a batter, and now he's walked a batter. He has struck out 8. And here's Dietrich, who tied the game with a home run in the 4th. Popped it up behind the plate and out of play. Pretty good swing by Dietrich back in the 4th.
Well, I'm telling you what, he got all of that. No doubt about it. Stayed right in there, too, on Hamels. No bailing at all or just swinging wild. He just took a good look at it and put a good swing on it. Another comfortable swing. Get this ball maybe a little bit out of the zone there. Or one of those high fastballs, maybe up, out over the plate or away. Don't have to hit the plate.
Foul ball knocked the mask of Kratz off. It's 0-2. Ozuna's on deck.
Just too good of a swing, too good of a pitch for him to hit. Look at that. Head goes down. You want to try and almost trick him right now. Check swing, strikeout.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2.
Oh, he's got a good eye. Only that's the pitch you would think they would actually swing at.
Slices it out towards left. Dominic Brown makes the catch. They're 2 away. Back to first goes Lucas, and here comes Marcell Ozuna.
Trying to see the pattern already on Ozuna, the way they've, at least the fighting Phils have been now trying to get him out. Kind of crowding, throwing him inside with that open stance. Going back in there again. So getting a little upset there. It's when you got to settle down, man. You got a 1-1 game. Settle down, just make your pitches. And hope that offense can get you 1 or 2 or 3 runs.
So to Major League Scoreboard, an update from down in Atlanta. The Braves now lead at 5-0, but Tehran's no-hitter was broken up with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Brandon Inge came off the bench to pick up a hit. That's the only hit of the day for the Pirates, who've committed 3 errors. So through 8, Tehran has 11 strikeouts and just 2 walks and a hit allowed, and is up 5-0 as the Braves are looking to sweep out the Pirates.
Wow. Meantime, excellent changeup by Cole Hamels.
2-2 now to Ozuna, with Lucas leading off first. He fights it off. He went inside with a fastball.
Now they're trying to crowd him now. Before that fastball, they were throwing a little bit middle away. He showed that he could hit that. Now, for a rookie, you got to show you can hit those other pitches. Other than that, they stay right in there on you. That curveball, I believe that he's getting ready to throw.
Second time today he's got him with that curveball. 9 strikeouts for Hamels. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. On to the bottom of the 6th inning. Got a pretty good curveball today. He's got Ozuna twice swinging. dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. 38,643 here at Citizens Bank Park. Pretty active out in Ashburn Alley today. The Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Phillies trying to sweep out the Marlins. Homestand began with a split of 2 with the Red Sox. And then they lost 2 of 3 to the Brewers. Dominic Brown fouls the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
Toronto, when I was there, the hitting coach in 1998. Roger Clemens, 5-6. I remember him calling a meeting. Oh boy.
He was 5-6.
He was 5-6. He called a meeting himself, said how terrible he was. He said that he was going to take it upon himself to do better. Won 15 games in a row. Ended up 20-6.
What was the reaction to his meeting? I mean, what did you guys?
Well, I mean, he was putting the blame on himself as the #1 pitcher, and there were younger players there, Delgado, Sean Green, those kind of guys. But they accepted the challenge, and more so him, to be able to do that.
So I guess what you're saying is that Cole's 1-9, but he still has a chance to turn this baby around.
He's got a chance to turn it around to be a decent year. Absolutely.
Well, today he's pitched very well.
Sure he has.
He's allowed just 3 hits. He's walked 1. He's hit a batter. He's struck out 9. But his offense again, it scored just the 1 run. Hasn't really been the case the whole year for Cole. I mean, there have been games where they haven't scored, but there have been other games where they scored, like last time out when he had a 3-0 lead and he couldn't hold that.
Good point. So it's been a combination of different things.
Sure. I think he'll be the first to acknowledge that.
Well, he does, and that is the one thing that he will do. He will say, hey, it is my fault. And really, that is the first step to anything and really getting better. But the other remedy for that, it's simple, is to get a victory. Yeah, and obviously, I mean, with the 5-6 is not as bad as what Cole is going through right now. But, you know, I guess, too, though, it depends on how you're actually looking at it. Got to get that ball up a little bit, guys.
Tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, the Union return home to battle the Columbus Crew. Philly tied Columbus on the road in April. Now they're in the hunt for a victory. Check out the MLS action. Crew at Union tonight at 7, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, I can appreciate the optimism, Sarge, because you're right. He can win 15 in a row, but well, I mean, they do have to score some runs for him.
Sure, but it doesn't even have to be the 15. I mean, he
I agree.
Go with 10, 11, whatever. I mean, he's capable of being able to run together some wins. And, yeah, it has a lot to do with them being able to play good defense and score some runs.
Kratz has the RBI today, double his first time up. He's 1 for 2.
See, Kratz, he's come a long way with his approach from what we were talking about in the beginning, where he was actually just really dipping down and then coming up. Every now and then he does it, but it's more subtle when he does it now, trying to get out of that. And you can tell signs are coming because of the way he's hitting the ball. Center field, you know, the right field, not as many as you would like. But once he feels comfortable with that stance now, he'll be able to hit him out there a little bit more regularly.
Pulls that to third, and Lucas stays down on it. Turner probably done after that inning. Pitches a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th. Sarge, we'll see you in Milwaukee.
Sounds good.
Jacob Turner, the veteran. Cole Hamels going at each other. 1-1 game. Derek Dietrich, the only run for the Marlins. Eric Kratz has doubled in the Phillies run. You see what the two starters have done to this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Hamels because as he starts the 7th inning in a 1-1 game, he's due to bat second in the bottom of the 7th, so they'll probably take him out as he delivers his 91st pitch of the day. It's low and in. Justin Ruggiano is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his first time up, flied out to left his last time. Just 3 hits today for the Marlins. The double in the first by Pierre. The home run in the 4th by Dietrich. And then the single by Echeverria in the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Out of play off to the right. Trying to get that inside part of the plate, but he's not getting it from the home plate umpire. They're balls, but they're close.
He's had much better command the inside part of the plate today, too, against these right-handed batters.
Swing and a miss and a changeup. 10 strikeouts for Hamels. 1 out here in the 7th. Casey Kochman is due up, so double digits in strikeouts again for Hamels. Let's check in with Murph with the Major League Notebook.
All right. Thank you very much, T-Mac. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And how about the start for Dodgers rookie outfielder Yasiel Puig? After a 2-4 night in his Major League start, Puig homered twice in the Dodgers win over the Padres last night. The youngster is the first Dodger in the history of their franchise to have a multi-home run game in one of his first 2 games in the big leagues. And maybe the big story in Major League Baseball right now, the report coming out of ESPN's Outside the Lines that the MLB is looking to suspend up to 20 players for their involvement with Biogenesis, that lab down in Florida. Some of the big names on that list we've heard already. Alex Rodriguez, Ryan Braun is on that list, Bartolo Colon as well. Major League Baseball now working with investigators to find out and get to the bottom of, but it is looking that up to 20 players could be suspended for upwards of 100 games, guys, some of these guys, because it is their second offense. So a big story developing in Major League Baseball.
Well, that's the part of it too, Murphy, is that it is developing. I mean, this is going to have so many layers to it once the story, all of it, comes out. We've already seen pieces of it. Some of the newspapers have picked up a lot of those stories today as Kochman pops it up toward the mound. Hamels is there, but Young will call him off and did it assertively. There are 2 outs.
That is such a tough play for an infielder, too, because the ball's not hit that high. You see them laughing about it, and here comes the mound when you run in. And a lot of times they'll hit that mound. See how it changes? And all of a sudden they'll go up and they'll lose their balance. They'll fall on their face, and it's a much easier play, really, for the pitcher to catch that thing.
Well, 2 quick outs.
He's already dealt with the mound all day, and he's not going to deal with all the slopes and the ups and downs. You don't have to worry about it. But an infielder, that's one of the most embarrassing things as a kid when you played and you come running and catch a ball and you hit that mound and right in your face. Been there.
Change up to Echeverria. It's 0-1. By the way, we go to Milwaukee obviously after this game. I'm interested to see what the reaction is with Ryan Braun, whose name allegedly is on that list and is allegedly being investigated by Major League Baseball. Now, he's denied everything that he's been accused of doing over the last several years.
Yeah, and you're using a very appropriate word there as you do all this stuff, and that's allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, so you have to do at this point. As Murph said, it's reports right now. I mean, most logical people can say, Murph, that where there's smoke, there's fire.
Sure.
But it is all alleged at this point.
Well, and it's important to remember that. And, as a reporter, you have to remember that as well. It is one report coming out of one entity, but obviously ESPN, it is getting legs. They have Major League Baseball has commented on it at this point. So, an investigation is most definitely underway. And, what the results will be from that investigation still remain to be seen. And as you said, many of the players on that list are denying having any involvement whatsoever. But that's what the investigation is for, so it remains to be seen what will happen in the long run.
Yeah, Tony Bosch from the Biogenesis lab in Florida is the main component to this investigation. So we'll see. Again, there are a lot of people that are very vested in this, that are around the game, and they'll find out more information as Rollins just missed coming up with that pop-up.
The changeup. Echeverria hit it right off the end of the bat, and looked like he was going to catch up to that. Couldn't quite get there.
Here's Jeff Mathis with a runner at first. Mathis fouls the first pitch back. And it's 0-1. Mathis has struck out. He's grounded out.
They put Olivo in the on-deck circle. The bat for the pitcher, Turner, if Mathis keeps the inning alive. Nobody in the Phillies bullpen. Really late on fastballs all day. Now, do you speed up his bat with something off speed here, or do you just keep pumping fastballs at him like this? This is what they have to try to do. When you're that late, a lot of times you don't want to speed a guy's bat up, even though a changeup's a great pitch for Cole Hamels.
Yeah, particularly Cole's changeup. He throws it, swung on and missed. 11 strikeouts for Hamels. If he's done, this is one of the better outings of the year for Cole Hamels. 11 strikeouts. He's scattered 4 hits. His spot is due up second when we come back. question one more time. Which Marlin pitcher did Jimmy Rollins get his first major league hit off in 2000?
No idea.
You have no idea at all?
None. Zero.
Well, it was a triple. Does that help at all?
No. Tell me who it is, because this is going to be
Chuck Smith.
Chuck Smith.
Yeah. Remember Chuck Smith?
No.
That's good, because I don't remember him either. But that's who Jimmy Rollins got his first hit against. And it was a triple back in 2000.
Chuck Smith.
And he hasn't looked back since.
He's a right-hander.
More than 2,000 hits for Jimmy Rollins during his major league career. Changes for the Marlins. Miguel Olivo comes on to catch. Now he'll bat ninth. This is a double switch. And A.J. Ramos is the new pitcher, his 25th game. He's been pretty good for them. 29 strikeouts and 28 2/3. Well, Turner did a heck of a job in just his second major league start. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run.
Chuck Smith pitched 2000 and 2001 for the Fish. Just don't remember him.
Freddie Galvis leads it off. Galvis has been on base twice. Outside with a changeup, and it's 1-0.
And as you figured, that's it for Cole Hamels after a tremendous outing here this afternoon. And Delman Young will hit for him. Jeremy Horst starts to throw for the Phillies.
Horst did a good job last night. Oh, that ball got a piece of John Hirschbeck. Wow.
I think Oliva missed it, didn't he?
I think he may have.
Or did he foul that?
I heard a click, but I thought, I think it hit Freddie's bat.
Oh, boy.
Sean Ficasny, one of the Phillies athletic trainers, immediately jumped out of the dugout.
That was a bad one.
When he saw Hirschbeck go down.
Right off the wrist. Looks like wrist, forearm, hand. No protection for that. You could hear Hirschbeck yell, too, when it hit him. There it is. It's a check swing.
Oh, no, it didn't hit the bat.
I think it
just hit him right in the hands.
I thought he just missed that.
You heard the click, but maybe the click was just the hand.
The click was it hitting his hand. Wow. They rely, obviously umpires rely so much on the catcher to catch the ball. And that's the first batter for Olivo. Just comes into the game. He's not known as a real good defensive catcher. And he just missed it.
He's trying to loosen up that hand. Yeah, he's pointing right toward around the knuckle area.
Yeah, you see it's all swollen. Remember Ed Vargo, that happening to him one night. Ed Montague, guys, real good guys to know over the years, breaking their hands on balls at the plate like that on foul tips.
Whatever they just did caused an awful lot of pain as he just jumped back again. Watch it again.
Yeah, he looks like he's in trouble. See, the hand is just so vulnerable to that, and the ball never touches the glove, hits him right on the hand.
And you see Olivo reacted almost immediately.
Well, Olivo feels bad about that, but the umpires go, come on, catch the ball.
Remember, it was it last year or the year before when Willeen Rosario was catching for the Rockies and he missed a ball that hit Tom. That didn't hit Tom Hallion, hit one of the members of Tom Hallion's crew, and Hallion was really upset. He asked if he had done it on purpose.
Yeah.
Now Olivo did not do that on purpose at all.
No, they're not. That rarely would happen that somebody would do that. He just missed it.
I wonder if they would protect it at all, if they put some kind of a wrap or something on it.
Well, he long-time veteran umpire like Hirschbeck, he doesn't want to leave the game because he knows you're talking 10-15 minute delay then for someone else to put the equipment on. So he's trying to gut it out right now.
Olivo's trying to make him laugh. He apologized. Well, here it is one more time. Take a listen to it.
hear the ball hit his hand, and then, oh, he goes. It's like, I don't know, they're moving away.
Yeah, Sean's taking a look at it again, asking him to squeeze it. They gave it a few moments. They're going to allow Ramos to throw.
That's why they just moved away from the home plate area.
Obviously, they're going to get it x-rayed after the game, you would think, or maybe they want him to do it now. Yeah, he's going to leave. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're going to make a change. So we're going to have a few moments here while they do that. And John Hirschbeck's going to walk off the field. They take his lineup card out. I mean, the better thing to do is to x-ray it and make sure that there's nothing wrong, or if there is, they get it set almost immediately. So we're going to have a little bit of a delay here as John Hirschbeck will leave the ball game after getting hit by a fastball from A.J. Ramos.
Charlie, the count's going to be 1-1.
A pitch that was not caught by Miguel Olivo. Here it is again. The batter was Freddie Galvis, and the ball hit him square on the hand. Now, while we were away, Bob Davidson, who's the first base umpire, as everybody knows from last night, did say to Charlie Manuel that the count is 1-1, not 2-0. Here's a replay where you can see whether the ball hit the bat. It did not hit the bat and misdirects. We can see it from the center field shot. But the umpires, we believe, are going to continue this at bat with the count 1-1 to Freddie Galvis. And I think that Bob Davidson went into the dugout just to call up to the press box to let them know that. But obviously, by that replay and what we've seen, the ball didn't hit the bat. Now, the biggest concern is you see the pitch again and you see it go past the bat of Galvis. The biggest concern is obviously John Hirschbeck. That's the most important thing.
Well, it never changes direction, and it didn't hit the bat.
That's the best shot right there. I mean, it was probably a half inch or so below the bat.
That's just a straight-on shot, unfortunately, to a really good umpire's hand. Veteran guy, John Hirschbeck's been in the league a long, long time. Good man.
Yeah, Sean Ficasny walked him off the field.
His younger brother, Mark, was a very good umpire in this league for a lot of years and had to retire with some physical problems at a young age.
Yeah, John Hirschbeck has been umpiring. This is his 30th year in Major League Baseball. He became a full-time member in 1984. And now everybody's left the field except for the three outfielders for the Miami Marlins. And there's Bob Davidson, who will take over as the crew chief of now a three-man umpiring crew. So we're in the bottom of the seventh. Nobody out. Freddie Galvis is up. We understand the count is 1-1. We'll be back right after this. ball and no strikes when a ball went right past the catcher Miguel Olivo from A.J. Ramos and hit the home plate umpire John Hirschbeck on the right hand, on the top of the right hand, just below the knuckle, and Hirschbeck went down immediately. Now it looked like he was trying to stay in the game, and then they finally decided to walk him off the field.
No leather on that either, it didn't look like.
Now in the interim, there's Bob Davidson walking over to let Charlie Manuel know that the count is 1-1, that the ball had been fouled off the bat of Freddie Galvis.
Well,
our shot said no.
That has to come from John Hirschbeck, I would think, the home plate umpire, because there's no way that the first or third base guy are going to know that. So there it is, another look at it.
Yeah, from there, it does not look like it hit the bat, as we've been saying.
Well,
now look at this shot right here, Wheels. Watch this here to see if it hits the bat. It just doesn't look like it hit the bat.
Doesn't change direction,
Yeah.
and Oliva never puts any leather on it, and John Hirschbeck gets nailed.
Now I wonder what the reaction will be from Charlie Manuel, because Charlie's on the top step of the dugout right now.
Yeah, see, they know by now, as they're going to go in and get the equipment on, they know by now in the Phillies dugout, they've seen, you know, the 20 replays we've showed, and every one of them shows it's not a foul ball. So, you know, I would think they're going to wait until they get ready to go, and then they're going to have something to say about this. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I believe that's why Charlie's standing on the top step of the dugout. Now Mike Redmond's talking to Bob Davidson.
At the time when Bob came over to say something to Charlie, you know, they're all just worried about John Hirschbeck at the
Absolutely.
time, and they don't know that it wasn't foul, but now they've seen it enough times inside that they know it's not. And he's going to come out and say something, but he has to wait till everything gets back in order.
Bob Davidson, who will take over as the crew chief of what will be a 3-man umpiring crew. He'll stay in the field. It looks like James Hoy is going to put the equipment on and will come out behind the plate and take over for John Hirschbeck. Davidson, who was the spotlight last night on a play that took place at second base. It is 25th year as an umpire in the major leagues.
You were saying that's another reason why John wanted to stay out there, because it takes 15, 20, 10, 15 minutes when you do this. You go back and get all that stuff on and get yourself ready to come back out and be the home plate umpire. So anytime an umpire leaves, a home plate umpire leaves, he knows there's going to be a big delay involved, and those guys don't want this to happen.
Yeah, the ball just didn't look like it hit the bat. It looked like it missed it by an inch or so. And it hit the right hand of John Hirschbeck.
That changes direction. Sure don't see it on any replays.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it hit the bat.
All right, here we go.
All right, so Charlie's walking out.
Now he'll come out and talk.
It is Jim Reynolds who will be behind the plate. Jim was at second base. So James Hoy will stay in the field. Now Charlie is going to walk out with Freddie Galvis. And he will talk to Jim Reynolds, and Bob Davidson will come over as well. It's just going to be Bob Davidson he'll talk to. They had all that time. I know that replay is not used for something like that. They have to go on the call, and the assumption is that John Hirschbeck made the call, but it fouled away as he went down to the ground.
Yeah, we're not quite sure, but it almost sounded like Bob said on the way over to Charlie. He said it was fouled.
Right.
And meaning that would be, he said that it would have been John had said that to them, because there's no way for the other guys to know that.
This is where Bob Davidson came over to the dugout and signaled over to Charlie. He said, Charlie, hey, just so you know, the count is 1-1. He fouled it off. He said he fouled it off.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like Bob said when he walked over. Now Charlie, you know, some of this is a little bit of a holdover from last night, so he's really going to get annoyed now and see how long Bob lets him go.
I think Bob just said, I can't see it from where I am over at first base.
Right, so they were taking the home plate umpire's word on it, and he's not there.
Jim Reynolds was at second base, so he didn't, you know, he would have had a better view out of it than anyone, but it's tough to see from that distance. So they're going to keep it at a 1-1 count. There's not much they could do about that because it's the decision of John Hirschbeck, the former home plate umpire. And Freddie Galvis just mentioned something to Jim Reynolds, too.
He said, I didn't foul that. I never touched it.
Miguel Olivo's thinking, well, maybe he did foul. That's why I didn't catch it.
One of those things that happens. He just missed the ball, and unfortunately, poor John Hirschbeck got nailed right on the hand.
So when John Hirschbeck went down, we thought it was a 2-ball, no strike count. Instead, it's 1-1 to Freddie Galvis as we begin the bottom of the 7th. The 1-1 the score. Nobody on. And the pitch. Ground ball, foul, and it's 1-2. Galvis 1 for 1 today. He walked back in the 2nd, singled in the 5th. The delay was, just as Wheels mentioned, a 15-minute delay. Delman Young still out on deck. He'll pinch hit for Hamels, who was very good today through 7 innings. Struck out 11. Second double-digit strikeout game of the season.
That's ball 4. Oh, no, it isn't.
Let's hope that John's okay, though. Like you said, that ball hit him square in the hand.
He's one of the good guys in the game, too. He's a real pro. Has been for a long time.
3-2 pitch. Hit sharply foul. Swing and a miss, and 1 away here in the 7th.
He swung at ball 5.
And Delman Young will indeed pinch hit for the Phillies. Well, Delman has had his most success this year against the Marlins. He has 3 home runs against them. Overall hitting .220 with 5 homers and 12 RBIs. And he lines that one back through the middle of base hit. That was a hanger. Well, let's see if they pinch run for him over at first. These lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Delman will remain at first. 81 strikes out of the 108 pitches that Hamels threw today.
Oh, he was really good. You can see it right out of the chute today. Great stuff again, as he's had in a lot of games this year. But 1 run.
As we said, it's the second double-digit strikeout game of his season. First time, though, that he's reached 11 strikeouts since 2010 against the Marlins.
I think he had the best command of his cutter today that he's had in a while. He looked like he was really getting it into right-handed hitters, not leaving it out over the plate where he's been a little vulnerable lately. Because he gave up the homer to a left-handed hitter today.
1-0 pitch to Revere. Breaks his bat. Loops it toward right. Delman gets a second. And he's there.
Now they may run for him.
That'll put runners on first and second with 1 out.
Especially after that little adventure right there. That'd be a good chance to run for him.
Here comes Cesar Hernandez. He'll pinch run for Delman Young. I mean, Delman had to hold up because he had to make sure it wasn't caught, but he was halfway when the ball dropped in front of Ozuna, who's got a plus arm, and he really had busted to get to second base.
I don't know who was going to catch that, except the 1 out.
So Michael Young, who is 1 for 3 today. All right, so I was given the benefit of the doubt.
And rightly so, because as your point is, you cannot get doubled there. But you also can't get 9/6
right
on it. Now, for people scoring at home, of course, they know what 9/6 is. Right field to shortstop covering.
dirt. 1-0.
The Phillies have been catching up a little bit in the last couple games, scoring later, which has helped them win these games.
Out toward right field. Ozuna back toward the track. Hernandez tags from second and will head over to third. Phillies are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They've left 6 so far, and now they've got 2 on with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Jimmy Rollins.
Good job by Hernandez there. Your priority is not necessarily to tag up with 1 out, but when it's that much in front of you and that easy a play, go ahead and do it. Go back, tag up, and get over to third base. You never know. Maybe an infield hit, a wild pitch, something like that can get the run in.
Rollins walked his last time up. That's 12 walks in his last 10 games.
Saw, unfortunately for John Hirschbeck, that Oliva can let a ball get away. So to get that runner to third base is important.
To the Phillies bullpen. The 1-1 pitch coming to Rollins. He hits it toward left center field, and Ruggiano's not going to get it. It drops in for a hit. Hernandez scores, and the Phillies take the lead.
Well, he said that guy's not running very well out there, and that was an example. He really couldn't get after that and just let it drop. Didn't even throw to third base on the play.
To admit, when it left the bat, I thought he'd catch it.
Well, it had some hang time. He's playing Jimmy. I think he's playing Jimmy to pull. Yeah, he is. He's playing to pull a little bit. But right there, he has no shot at it. He didn't feel that he did. I don't know that maybe Coughlin would have had a better chance to catch that ball, especially with the glove on that hand, too, the other hand. Jimmy right here gets it off the end of the bat a little bit, and that's what really helped make it die out there because he didn't drive it. If he'd have driven it, it may have stayed in the air longer and they would have caught it.
All right, so Cole Hamels has the lead, even though he's out of the game.
Cole is a pitcher of record, right?
First and third with 2 outs for Ryan Howard against Ramos. There goes Rollins. The pitch is taken low. Olivo pumps, and Rollins steals second. 6 steals this year for Rollins. Another 1-0 pitch. A liner toward right center field. Ozuna on the run. He can't get it. It's going to go all the way to the scoreboard. 2 runs will score. Howard's thinking 3. Here's the throw. Not in time. A 2-run triple for the big piece. And the Phillies lead it by 3.
Later innings have been good to the Phillies. They got 4 in the 6th in the first game. They got 2 in the 7th last night. And here they come with a crooked number here in the 7th again. That ball had a lot of top spin on it. It's coming down in a hurry. If it had hang time, he had a chance to get to it. It didn't because it had all that overspin on it. And a triple for Ryan Howard, that's more than exciting. That's rare.
18th of his career. First one of the season. And the Phillies lead it 4-1. Here's Dominic Brown. Outside and high, 1-0.
Nice is it too that Cole Harmel's a pitcher of record at this point
with a 3-run lead.
Yeah. For the bullpen to get 6 outs, hopefully.
Off the glove of Olivo, it's 2-0. Now they opted not to bring Dan Jennings in to face Howard. He had been throwing, but they decided to let Ramos face him instead of Jennings. But Jennings continues to throw in their pen.
The Phillies hit 2 balls in this inning. They didn't go far enough for the outfielders to catch them, which was nice. Jimmy Rollins with the base hit, the ball a little bit off the end of the bat, and then Ryan hit that thing with all that topspin coming down in a hurry. There's Jimmy, a big part of this inning, and the outfield, right fielder just could not get to that ball. He's made some really good plays out there as Ozuna, but that thing was coming down so fast he couldn't get to it.
3-1 pitch to Dominic Brown. In the air to right field. Ozuna going back toward the track. It is gone! A 2-run homer for Dominic Brown. The National League leader adds 1 more, and the Phillies lead it 6-1.
Boy, how about that bomb that just went off? They've been wearing him out with curveballs today. That was slow. Have to see it from another angle, but he really stayed back on it and hits it into one of his favorite spots, right out into that area. You want to go get a Dominic Brown home run ball? That's probably a good place to sit.
And Jenna Salisbury of Lafayette Hill, you just won $100. Compliments of the McDonald's home run jackpot. Yeah, that has certainly been Dominic Brown's porch out there in right field.
He fired him right into that area, every one of them. Just different roads.
Inside, 2-0 to Mayberry. Ryan Webb starts the throw in the pen for the Marlins, but I think if you're a Marlins fan, you're thinking it's too late.
You think how this inning began, too, how bizarre this whole inning is, with the count being wrong. John Hirschbeck hit with a pitch, that long delay, and now the Phillies throwing up a big inning with 2 outs. The second out of the inning was Michael Young hitting the ball to right field, and then 3 straight hits produced 5 runs. 2 out hits in baseball, boy, they are so big for you, and they kill you against you.
Phillies 2 out hits are a single, a triple, and a home run. And now the 2-1 to Mayberry. Little dribbler back to the mound. It's spinning. Ramos has it. Side is retired. 8 men come to the plate in the inning, and it was a very productive home 7. The Phillies score 5 runs. Ryan Howard, his first triple of the season. And then Dominic Brown, his 18th home run of the year, into that familiar spot in right field to give the Phillies a 6-1 lead. plus Ford stores. Go further. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Well, the cast of Grease, which has been around most of the day, inviting the fanatic to sing and dance along. They'll be appearing at the Walnut Street Theater for the next month and a half or so. If you want to get some tickets.
I always ask me if I've seen a movie. Most of the time I say no. Olivia Newton-John. I
saw that movie?
That was a good one.
Have you seen the play?
No.
Yeah, the play is pretty good.
I'm sure it is.
You know all the songs.
Oh, yeah. That's great music.
Ryan Howard and Dominic Brown provided the spark offensively. Give some credit to Jimmy Rollins, too, because his bloop gave the Phils the 2-1 lead. And then Howard's triple made it 4-1. Brown's 2-run home run made it 6-1. Justin DeFreitas takes over here in the 8th.
Well, the 3-4-5 knocked in 5 runs. And the 3-4-5, that's why they allegedly hit in those spots, or to knock in runs.
DeFreitas will face Miguel Olivo to begin the 8th. He fires a strike. It's 0-1.
Now, you want no drama now for Justin DeFreitas. Go out there, throw some strikes. The Marlins are pretty disheartened after that inning. And you can see if you can get them out quick. Off day for them. Something like that happens. You can smell the bus fumes.
Their off day will be in New York. They begin a series against the Mets on Friday. The Phillies play tomorrow night.
What you don't want to do is walk anybody or give them any opportunity to think they can get back into the game.
Good pitch. 1-2. Little low, 3-2 now to Olivo. Pierre is on deck.
It's almost impossible to walk this guy, too. Olivo.
He's walked 5 times this year in 72 plate appearances. He does like to swing.
Oh. He's strong, too. He can hit some homers. Now, right now, it's 6-1, which is nice.
Here's the 3-2. And he got it. Kratz hangs on to the foul tip. One out here in the 8th. Later on Sports Night, Phillies Marlins highlights, analysis, and reactions, plus the latest from the Eagles' mandatory minicamp to preview tonight's Crew Union match. Philly fans get all the news you need to know on Chevy Malibu Sports Night tonight at 6, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Pierre is a double tonight. He's also grounded out twice. Phillies have already played the Marlins a number of times, and after today's ball game, they'll say goodbye to them for a while.
Playing the final week of the season down there.
Grounded to second base. Freddie Galvis throws out Pierre. 2 outs. Yeah, they play them here at home on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of September. And then before they finish up the season in Atlanta, they play the Marlins in Miami the 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Right, play them all these games and then don't see them for 3 months.
Who knows how different the Phillies will be? Who knows how different the Marlins will be?
At that point in the year, they'll be all different players. It won't be like this. Have your recalls in September.
ball, 1 strike to Ed Lucas.
See Justin do get Olivo out. Fans are starting to feel better about this one. They're going to head for the exits on this beautiful afternoon to battle their way home.
One ball, 2 strikes to Ed Lucas. Now the pitch from DeFreitas. Breaking ball, just missed a little low. 2-2.
He's trying to win this game and finally climb Mount 500.
Yeah.
It has just been so hard for them to get to that point. A lot of chances, and they always fall back.
First time they'd be at 500 since they were 6-6. Good hop from Michael Young. And DeFreitas has an uneventful top of the 8th inning. 1-2-3 go the Marlins. We've completed 7.5 here at Citizens Bank Park, and the Phillies lead it 6-1.
And look at this throw by Eric Kratz from his knee, and he gets Justin Ruggiano at second base. Ruggiano can't believe he's out. Good quick tag there by Freddie Galvis. That helped Cole Havels right there. Got a out at second base, and that is our Hyundai defensive play of the game, as Eric Kratz is going to lead it off here in the 8th inning.
Eric Kratz will start this 8th with the Phillies up 6-1. And he'll face Ryan Webb. Ramos allowed the 5 runs in 1 inning of relief for the Marlins. 1 inning, 5 hits, and 5 earned runs. No walks, 1 strikeout. Phillies had a couple singles, a triple, a home run. Hits Ramos. Webb 25 games. He's 1-3. Right-handers hitting just 170 against him. Michael Stutz is throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Yeah, they really want to get through this game without even getting Adams or Papelbon up. And DeFreitas did his job, and it'll be up to Stutz to close it out in the 9th inning.
Pitcher spot is due up 3rd in this inning. Phillies have already used Delman Young and Cesar Hernandez.
Delman Young got that inning started with that pinch hit single.
Outside, 1-0. Kratz is 1 for 3, doubled in the run his first time up.
Keep talking about getting to 500. How about the Phillies haven't had a 4-game winning streak this year? If they win today, they will have one, and that's hard to believe. You're into June without a 4-game winning streak.
I think the last 2 years, you can pretty much say that. They just haven't had long winning streaks. You know, they've had, I think, 7 games is the longest one the last 2 years.
4 is just almost unimaginable.
Immediately after the game, stay tuned for Ricky Vitalico's breakdown of Cole Hamels' performance. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Galvis 1 for 2. He struck out his last time. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Lance Nix has come out on deck. Down the right field line out of play, and it's 0-2 to Galvis. Phillies will start their series tomorrow against the Brewers. Tyler Cloyd will start that game for Milwaukee, or for the Phillies, and Willie Peralta will start for the Phillies. For the Brewers, I'll get it right.
I know what you meant.
Cloyd for the Phillies, Peralta for the Brewers.
Peralta pitched well in that game. He pitched here at Citizens Bank Park. Good arm.
Cliff Lee pitches Friday. Figueroa pitches for the Brewers.
And they are undetermined now on Saturday because they had to put Estrada on the disabled list, who was a scheduled starter for Saturday. So they have the TBA work
against Kyle Kendrick, and then Sunday it'll be Jonathan Pettibone. Swing and a miss, and Galvis is rung up. And there are 2 outs. Lance Nix will pinch hit. Well, here you go, the upcoming road trip for the Phillies. 4 against the Brewers, off day on Monday in Minnesota, and then 3 against the Twins, all night games. And then the road trip finishes up in Colorado. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 day games in Colorado. It's a 2-hour difference.
Right.
So there'll be a 2 o'clock local time. Nick's a .211 hitter with 2 home runs. And it's 0-1 to Lance. Away, 2-1. Outside, ball 4. So Nix draws a 2-out walk. And they give Revere another chance to bat. Revere's been on base 3 times today. A couple of walks, a single. And he scored a run in the 7th. Where the Phillies scored 5. What the heck was that? I think he got his foot caught.
Yeah.
Webb did. He's lucky he came to the plate because it would have been a balk.
You're worried that somebody hurt themselves when they throw like that, but he's okay.
He slipped. His back foot slipped.
Slipped, and he did what you should do there, and that's continue with your delivery, because you say if you stop at the bar.
He just dug out the rubber a little bit just to give himself a little bit more of a grip. Pitch inside, 2-0. Big hop for Lucas over at third. So the Phillies will go to the top of the ninth inning, leading at 6-1, excuse me. No runs, no hits, one man left. Michael Stutz will be next up for the Phils. We go back to the 5-run inning for the Phillies in the 7th, and Ryan Howard's triple is first of the year. Is our W. Mason delivery of the game. That brought home 2. Rollins had given them the lead. 2-1 with a base hit to center, and then Howard hooked that ball to right center field for the triple. It's our W. Mason delivery of the game. Dominic Brown followed with a 2-run home run. So now as we go to the top of the ninth inning, the Phillies are looking to win 4 straight for the first time this year, and trying to get back to the 500 mark for the first time since they were 6-6. Michael Stutz, 5 games so far, 1-0, an ERA of 1.23. And he'll face Dietrich, Ozuna, and Ruggiano. Those are the scheduled hitters. Since the Phillies fell to 5 under 500 on the 10th of May, they're 13-9. You need a little bit of that today. Not as much as last week, though. Outside, it's 1 ball and no strikes. And 2-0 to Dietrich. Dietrich tied the ball game up in the 4th with a home run. That's the only run of the day for the Marlins. DeFreitas a scoreless 8th inning. And now it's Stutz. And 7. The 2-1 pitch to Dietrich. In the air to right center field. Ben Revere gallops under it. Well, Dominic Brown homered earlier in the game in the 7th, a 2-run shot. For his home run, and each one hit by a Phillies player this season. One tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees. A partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/red goes green.
That forest is getting more dense.
I was thinking the same thing. Dominic with 4 more home runs than Gonzalez and Upton for the National League lead.
Upton had a pretty good head start on it.
Well, Upton's April was nowhere near what Brown's May was.
No, but it was impressive.
It was.
Dominic Brown's May is ridiculous.
June's getting pretty fancy too. That just got Kratz too. That didn't get Reynolds, did it?
No, I think and then he hit it again. I don't know. It almost sounded like it hit Eric. Ball went back, and he may have hit it. Ozuna may have hit it again. Does he hit this on the backlash? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He did. 2-stroke penalty.
Out to shallow center. Galvis, I don't think he sees it really well. Now he's got no. Revere's going to call him off. Freddie was really having trouble seeing it. He peeked at Ben Revere and then found it. Then Revere was able to close and make the catch.
Much easier play for an outfielder coming in than an infielder going back fighting that sun.
Well, one more out to go. Justin Ruggiano's the batter. Phillies trying to get to the 500 mark. In their 60th game, they're trying to get to 30 and 30. Charlie said if they can get to 50 or so wins, not below 50, but 50 or more by the All-Star break, he thinks they'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that'd be a heck of an accomplishment. A lot of road games are in there.
Line drive, base hit for Ruggiano. Dominic Brown gets to it quickly. Ruggiano will stop at first. It's only the 5th hit for the Marlins today. Casey Kochman, a ground ball to first. This should do it. Howard goes to the bag, and it will do it. The Phillies are back to the 500 mark for the first time since the 14th of April. They have swept out the Marlins. They've won 4 straight as they win it today 6-1 as they give Cole Hamels a victory. Well, so many positives came out of this afternoon's ball game. Howard's 2-run triple. Dominic Brown continued to hit home runs, hit a 2-run shot, and they just continue to play a clean game. And now for the first time this year, they've won 4 straight. And they'll hit the road on this long road trip on a positive note and right at the 500 mark at 30 and 30.
Yeah, good job today on a lot.